these are some seated ankle lifts. So you're gonna just find yourself in a seated position. Place your feet on the ground, and you want your knees to be just positioned right over your ankles. Ideally, you don't want your knees or your hips to move in and out as you're going through these lifts. So what I like to do is I'll just place my hands right on my knees, and this is gonna help provide some stability and prevent me from moving my knees too much. So just place your hands here. I'm gonna start with some tibialis raises. So you're going to lift your toes and your feet off of the ground, keeping your heels on the ground. Just hold it for a second or two and then slowly lower down. All right, you can just do that for the prescribed amount of repetitions. And then once you're done that, you're gonna lift your heels up, keeping your toes on the ground, right? Making sure you're bent, you're keeping the actual toe pad on the ground. You don't want to actually lift up and place the tops of your toes like this. So keep the bottom part of your toe on the ground, and you wanna see the joint between the toe and the foot move, right? So here, lifting up and then slowly lowering down. Do that for the prescribed amount of repetitions. And then we're gonna work on our inversions and eversions. So for this one here, you're gonna lift up the inner edge of your foot like this, right? So this is eversion. The tendency here is to allow the knees to fall out and externally rotate the hips. So you can even keep your hands just to the outside of your knees to prevent your knees from falling open. And that way you can really focus on the ankle position and the movement that occurs in the ankle. So again, do that for how many times you're supposed to. And then you'll do the same thing, but moving the ankle in. So this is called pronation or inversion. And you'll see here that the knees want to have a tendency to come in together, and your hips will want to internally rotate. So you can take your hands and just slightly place them inside to prevent this internal rotation. So I'm just pulling my hands apart gently to stop my knees from coming in. And what you're going to be doing is lifting up the outer edges of your feet as you roll onto the inner edges of your feet here. And you may notice that there's not a lot of movement in this direction, and it's okay if you're not fully lifting up that outer edge, as long as you're just moving with intention here. That's all that really matters. Alrighty, give it a try.